Hi all. Okay, just checked. Just watched back that last video, and I want to make an alteration. Because well, I've actually made a little bit of a mistake. Again, I still can't get into the habit of crossing a German bridge and feeling like I've got to take a bridge demolition check for it. Something I don't think I've done ever in the past, which hasn't been correct. Because if you still can trace supply to that side, the other side of the bridge, Allied supply, and then you do need to make the check. Now it was cleared up regarding crossing the bridge and not having to worry about the other side of the bridge, but I moved this unit here with strategic 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into here. And once I landed here, Allied supply can be traced to this bridge. So I should have done a check. Now, I've harped on as much about this being my main supply route. I do not want this bridge to be blown. At the moment, yes, I can still trace down, I suppose, and into... Well, no, I can actually, can I? Because we don't have this town, so no, I can't even do that. Can't even go that way at the moment. But... So I definitely don't want to risk taking this bridge. Now, there's no new information appeared yet. We're just about to move on to the next Allied impulse, but I'm not drawing the card yet or anything. So it's not that I've got some knowledge that. So hopefully you guys find this okay. But I mean, if I knew I was having to take a bridge check for that, I wouldn't take the risk with it. So I'm still going to move the guy. Rather than go up over the bridge, I'm just going to move it into here, and that's the other side of the bridge as well, which shuts off that supply that was there. Still, it doesn't quite close this completely, but it might make it. I mean, to be honest, an Allied unit can get to here right enough. So, whereas if I'd had that unit there, it couldn't get to there. So there is still a risk of them going towards Bastogne. But it's not. I don't want to take the risk of crossing that bridge and it blowing. Yeah. Nah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm just going to leave it there. I'm just going to leave it there. It's not ideal, but yeah, I'll need to keep this in mind. The whole, just because it's a German bridge doesn't mean that most of the time, yes, you probably got supply either side of it, but this was a case where it wasn't. You know, we're a bit bare here, so they could trace. Okay. Hope that sits alright with you. It does with me, because I've no, like I say, not got any new information and just forgot about the fact I was going to have to take a check. Okay, so and one of the things that's cropped up, which I'm a bit anxious about now, is the highest command card in my hand is the one that I'm going to use to fix this bridge, the bridge engineers, and not something I've been thinking about, but I should have been thinking about. I've already drawn one this day, an air power card, because there's no Allied units out of supply or isolated, so it would then move on to the strafing run, and then I would have to discard the highest card in my hand, which would be that bridge engineers event. So we're kind of hoping that there's not going to be a no command showing up here, that's for sure. Okay, we might as well just go on that. So I'll draw the next card, fingers crossed. Oh, okay, we're okay. It's a 5-core card, just division card. Okay, I'll go and have a wee look what we've got. Okay, so the 5th Armour aren't on the board yet again. There's only 2 of the units, they don't come out till the 24th, I think. We've got 2 1st Division units, one here, and we've got 2 9th Division units in Verviers. And sorry, yeah, there's nothing to deploy. So we're trying to activate the 1st, the 9th, the 5th armour aren't out yet, so just the 1st and the 9th. This guy can take an IP. So oh yeah, hold on. Yeah, I think I'll be maybe bashing on past that. Wonder if I did the last time. The out of contact situation. Oh dear. I think I didn't consider that the last allied activation, did I? The last allied impulse. Hang on a sec. Yeah, I just went back there to have a look, and I thought, oh no, I'm gonna have to redo this. I've made a big error. I think it's okay though. Thankfully, it was the last allied impulse, and we activated 26th Infantry and 4th Armoured, and that's a relevant part. It's not the whole corps. It didn't include that cavalry unit, which I think is most fortunate because all these units, although the cavalry unit did get involved with that attack action, all these units were spread about here. So, and out of contact, a German unit is, if a German unit is not proximate to the unit, it can be classed as out of contact. Well, all the units were proximate to a German unit. A German unit was proximate to all the units, apart from the 6th Cavalry unit, who was down here. And I thought, oh no, I didn't realise at first it was the cavalry unit. I thought, oh no, this was out of contact. So rather than activate these units, I maybe should have redeployed this. But this being the cavalry unit wasn't part of the actual division card. So I think I've got away with that one. And I need to keep switched on to that one too. Just seem to skip on by it. I've always got to consider out of contact before I move on to the to activate the units. And I kind of got a bad habit of that one. So, but I think that's okay, and we got away with it. So we'll have a little glance at the out of contact option for the card that we're on just now, the 5th Corps Division card. So yeah, the 2 first division units aren't out of contact, but these 2 9th division units are. Because there's 6 steps in this hex, so if it's got greater than 5 steps or 8 strength, which is both, you consider the lowest numbered unit, so that's that one. So he's classed as out of contact. I'm not sure if you would be able to redeploy somewhere else, but we've got to go and have a look at least. And no, it was a kind of quick look. There's nowhere, obviously they can only deploy north of that line. And there's no German units proximate to any position within there. It's all very tight and coordinated by the Allies. So no out of contact redeployment. So we will then move on to activate them. And like I said already, this unit can take an IP, which is enough to activate them. So we'll draw 3 Allied action cards and see what we get. Okay, we've got an attack, an elite attack, and a move in that order. So, let's see what happens here with it. First card, attack. Okay, this goes up in ascending order, so this is the unit that being considered first. Selector number 8 from the 1st Division. He's not proximate to a unit that he's got greater strength than. Yeah, this is a 3 and this is a 2, and he's proximate to that, but it's crossing the river, and you've got to condition its situational strength's got to be considered. So that would half the what is it? It cuts it in half, doesn't it? Where are we? Sorry. Units attacking across the river is half strength, yeah, so that takes them down to 1 against 2, so that's not greater than. So he's not proximate to a unit that you can get. Hang on. That's 2 in there. 1, 2. Oh, hang on. What about this guy down here? Is that an option? Hang on. Yeah, not quite. He's in, it would be 3 to 2, but situationally he gets a +1 for being in a non-VP town, so it would be 3 against 3. So no, he doesn't have anybody that is greater than strength and proximate to. So next units are the ones in Verviers. So unit selector number 10, and I'll move things a little bit. Okay, almost kind of missed this one. This is quite interesting. So it's situation is unit stack with strength greater than proximate German unit stack. So there's 2 units from the 5th Corps in here. So they count, so that's 6 strength points, but because it's unit stack, this unit, although it's not active and part of that division, that's included. So that's 9 strength points. Now, might need to just double check it again. I think there's 9 in here and 9 in here with no modifications. There's only 8 in here, 8 strength in here, and he's in a clear hex. So that was classed as a -1 for the situational strength. So that looks like that's 9 against 7 there. Now they've got to protect the VP hex, but there's more than 4. What was it again? Card. Protect people. Do not. Hang on. Do not attack from a VP hex if less than 4 steps. Well, there's 6 steps in there, so that's fine as well. So yeah, I think there's going to be an attack from Verviers into one of these stacks. I think it's only that one's the only one that's applicable. But I'm just going to have another glance at the strength of these. Yeah, there's 9 strength in both of these 2 with no modification to the situational strength. 8 strength in there with a -1. So we've got 9 against 7 there. So I think that's going to apply, and they're going to attack that. Now, so the action is move to the weakest qualifying target and attack. Now I wonder if they could spread out. I think one of the units could spread, couldn't it? Okay, hang on. Okay, a couple more. I wish this wasn't way at the end of the table. Couple other interesting points here, I think, that we might not have seen before. It's quite interesting though. When we start this activation, this unit on top, I believe, is still classed as the lead unit. Now, have I got that right though? Because we've got to look for 1st and 9th infantry first. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can't pick on the unit down below, because the thing is, he's got a selector number 9, and these guys are a 10 and a 12. So I think this is still the lead unit, number 10 selector number. But we then activate the whole stack to attack. So then now we move to the weakest qualifying target and attack. So this is weakest qualifying target and attack. Now, do we class, when we move, do we not then go back to, would it not be this unit that moves first, or is it the lead unit? Oh, okay. I'm not so sure about that one. Hang on. Yeah, it's going to be the 7 Corps unit, because you do it in ascending order. So now we've found that unit stat that's going to do the action. We'll look between it, find the lowest numbered unit, and he's going to be the one that might make the move first. So, in fact, it doesn't need to break out because these are dispersed. So he's going to go here to attack, because he wants to go, even though he's adjacent already, he wants to try and find another empty hex if possible. Yeah, I think that's right. Now, it's funny though, if there had been another empty hex that one of these units could move to, and did move to it, then there would only be 2 steps left in that, and it wouldn't be able to attack. So I'm glad that's not going to happen, because I wouldn't know what to do with that. Martin, get on that one. tell me what would have happened if this X had been empty and I was able to go in there and then flank him. Would I have been allowed to do it with the fact that then I'm trying to protect this VP hex with only 2 steps, which wouldn't be allowed to be involved in the attack? I'd be interested to know what would happen there. But fortunately we don't have that situation. And just the last part of that, I don't know if I'm looking too much into this. When moving adjacent to a German unit, and then when the last part when it says this also applies to units that start their move adjacent to the target. Move such units if they're stacked with other units unable to reach a different hex adjacent to the target that is empty or has fewer units. Would that, at the moment, that's got fewer units than that. So should I move that to that? Then that means it's not got, I don't know, that's maybe a bit picky, that one, but the way it's written, this has got fewer units than this, so shouldn't we be moving that unit into there? I don't think there's another one for you, Martin. I don't think I'm going to do that, because that doesn't seem right. And then it would bring up this situation where I'd have only 2 steps in here trying to make the attack, and that would be then illegal because of the protect VP hex. So I'm not going to put myself in that position. But again, if you want to answer that one too, go for it. Okay. So we've moved then. I think that's all right. Yeah, not 100% confident, but it looks like it's right. So we've moved them other proximate units in the same core. Now that's got to then not consider this core, surely. It must just be the 5th core. Oh, tell me it's other proximate units in the same core reinforce. Oh, there's another question then. They're all piling up here, Martin. Get on the case. I'm going to say that it's going to be from the 5th core. It's not going to be... Ooh, that could be debatable though, couldn't it? One, two, actually, can anything reach? Well, yeah, some of this armour could reach, couldn't it? Let me see that in the camera, so yeah. Or can it? 1, 2, 3, no, maybe not. Yeah, it doesn't look like anything could reach though. But another, maybe I'm overthinking here. Other proximate units in same core reinforce. Because the thing is, we've now got 2 different cores involved in the battle, so do we consider both of the cores? It's possible. Okay, that's 3 answers alike. But we can't reach anything anyway, so nothing else is going to move proximate. So now we look at if we've got greater than or equal to 5 steps. We've got 6 steps, so yes, that's going to apply. So we're going to break off at A2. Yeah, going to break off at A2. They get air power with the attack card. They're going to draw a combat tactic. So this has got 8 strength now. We don't now look at it situationally. So we've got 9 against 8. So it's only 1-to-1 odds. It's only 1-to-1 odds. Can I see things up here? Yeah. I'll move that back a bit. We'll get and combat tactics. Well, there's 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1 for the air powers, 4. And then I'll put the 4 there then out. And then we're going to draw a combat tactic for them. What do you know? We get artillery, so they're getting that too. Artillery and air power again, and they get an extra chip pool with that. So yeah, 1-to-1 odds and 5 chip pools. And we've got disperse. These are dispersed as well, which is risky. In a clear hex. Have we got armour? No. These are just mechanised infantry as well, so we don't have armour even. Oh, could be interesting. Okay, so it's something. Looked at them as well. 1, 2, 3. So it's a minimum of 3 chip pools and a maximum of 5. Oh, hang on, dispersed. What does that give them? Does that? Or am I? Well, actually, now I get the chance to put a combat tactic, but let's hang on. Dispersed, may not move, attack or advance, not build an IP units. Can only retreat 1 hex. Oh yeah, yeah. I can't use combat tactics on it, and the attacker can disregard 1 attacker hit. So, yeah, I think we had this situation a while back when I thought they were breaking off and they didn't because they were going to ignore a hit. So we actually need A3 now for them to break off because they're going to ignore the first hit. Not so good. And we can only retreat 1 hex, which is not so good as well. Okay, I'll get the... So yeah, I can't put a combat tactic anyway. So minimum of 3, maximum of 5. Let's go and get the 3. Oh, there's the first 3. Not good. And I was just having a look at this unit because I knew one of these was armoured, and it's this unit here. Because he was 4 strength, another unit. Hang on, I'll get the other unit as well, just to let you have a look. He's 5 strength, but he's only mechanised infantry, and he was 4 strength. But while he was 4 strength, he was armoured, and I took the hat in him because obviously, keeping the strength, he would have dropped from a 5 to a 3, so keeping my strength, but I lost my armour. I didn't really notice that. I don't suppose it would have changed my mind because the strength is probably a bit more important. But obviously I was just checking again because there's no armour at all. They're all infantry, and we were just mechanised infantry. And then we get attacker artillery and a G2 for an allied air power. So that's D3 on us. And that's not good at all. Let me just think here. So D3, we've got 3 steps. So we would retreat. We can only retreat 1 hex. So we've got 3 steps, so we'd retreat 1 and we'd have to take the other 2 hits as step losses. So it doesn't quite eliminate the 2 units, so it would still leave 1 unit with 1 step. So that means that they're going to carry on and draw individual chits up to 5. Or, excuse me, if they pull another D1, then that'll be that. Okay, seems we've got more questions within this Allied Impulse. So I was looking at, so they've got D3 on us, and we've got 3 steps. So it talks in 13.4.2, talks about Allied attack break off. Now, we know they'll break off if they get A2, well, it's going to be A3 because they're going to ignore a hat, but I get that. The next part is German elimination, and it says the cumulative total of hits incurred by the German defenders is sufficient to eliminate them. German defenders will be eliminated if the cumulative defender hits exceed the number of steps in the defending stack by 2 or more. So they've got 3 steps. So what that is saying is they need 5 steps to eliminate us, to break off. But that's not the case, but there's 2 wee conditions after this. One is, if the 2 wee bullets here, so the first bullet is, if the defenders are surrounded and not adjacent to a supplied German unit, reduce the hits required for elimination by 1. Well, that's not the case, they're not surrounded. And then the second bullet is, if the defenders occupy a town, city, west wall or improved position, increase the hits required for elimination by 1, which makes sense if they're in a town, then obviously they're going to need 1 more hit to take. There's no mention of dispersal there. I looked in errata, trying to find out, because these units can only retreat 1 hex. So that surely means that they've then got to take. They can only retreat one. I mean, this is built. So the reason you add 2 is because they can normally retreat 2 hexes. So you add 2 onto it. So that's why it's 5. Retreat, retreat, then take 3 step losses, then they're dead. But they can only retreat once. So that should be part of. There should be another bullet there, unless I'm missing something. Or it should be part of it to say that if the units disperse, that should reduce the hits required by for elimination by 1 as well. I would have thought. Yeah. Yeah, I do feel like that should be within the rules. Because the fact I can only retreat once, 4 hits is enough to eliminate that 3 steps of units. So I'm going to go with that, but there you go, there's another question. That's like 4 questions, Martin. You're going to be busy tonight. Unless I'm missing something. I didn't see anything in errata there, but... So I'm going to say that. I'm going to say they need D4 to eliminate, and they'll stop at that. So let's draw the first of the last 2 possible chits. Okay, so that doesn't apply. It was 9-1 on the other side, or 5-1, so that doesn't apply. So, yeah, we're going to draw the last chit. Well, this could be really bad news. They've drawn another D1, so less than 4-1, we get an A1 and a D1. And remember, we're dispersed, so they ignore that A1 as well. So, I see that as 4 hits to us. So, yeah, that's the results. And like I say, they ignore the first hit because we were dispersed, so we can take that one away. And in my opinion, the way I'm reading it, that if they still had more chits to draw, they would stop there because they can eliminate us there. Although the rules seem to skip by the I must be missing something there. Because they can only retreat once, right? We've done that. Retreat 1 hex, that satisfies the 1 hit. We've got 3 hits to take. They can't retreat anymore because they're dispersed. So 1 hit there, 2 hits there, 3 hits there. And that's bad news. I hope I'm missing something, but I don't think I am. Okay, so we need to check if they might want to advance into that hex. This is going the secondary at. He's the first unit. Goes ascending order again. So he's the first unit to consider it. And he's it's a secondary arrow, so on a 1 to 8 he will advance. So I'll just roll this. We rolled a 1, so he's going to advance into there. Now next unit would be there, and that's going to be another direction, isn't it? Into there. So other route, and there's already a unit advanced, they will not move, so they just stay put. Which I'm glad about, because I wasn't sure if there's nothing to say, well, apart from the protect VP hex on the card here, which is the attack action. There's not really anything to say that they couldn't have moved out of that VP hex and advanced. Maybe there is something. I can't quite see it straight up, but anyway, they're not moving anyway, they're staying put. So, yeah, more bad stuff for the Germans. And, yeah, two pretty strong units have been taken out there. That was kind of brutal. Okay, so moving on, we then... No, that's us done with the attack, isn't it? Because, I'll zoom out there again. This was the first unit we were considering, wasn't it? Then we went up there. So they've had an action. So yeah, that's us done with attack. So the next card is elite attack. Oh, I can't see that really happening, is it? Unit stat strength greater than or equal to 2 times proximate German unit stat. And we're only considering these 2 units now. Okay, the unit stat, hang on. Yeah, I was just wondering here, because this unit's stacked with a strong unit, but he's got a selector number 33, so that wasn't. And just having a look at attack, it was 1 to 19 there, so we don't consider that unit that's selector number 33, and you wouldn't consider it here either, which is maybe just as well, because, well, it's across the river, mind you, so probably not. So the last one is move. So unit stat not adjacent to a supplied German unit. And that's 1 to 39. So that does include this guy. It's going to look at this guy first. This guy is adjacent to German unit. So he's not going to be applicable anyway. But we do need to deal with this one first. So he might do something. Okay, so there's no VP hexes. There's no unoccupied German town city, so he's going to want to move towards nearest German unit, and then if more than one in the forward direction, nearest forward direction. Well, this is forward direction, so he's going to move in there. Now he needs to avoid surround, protect VP hex. They're not an issue. I also need to preserve the line, and this is our line. Zoom out a little bit. This is our line here. He's moving from here to here though, so there's no gap opening up there. There's not an extra hex, gap hex being created, so he's fine. So yeah, that's that. And then this unit, like I said, wouldn't do the move action. He's in a town as well, so he's not going to gain an IP. So that's going to be that. That's going to be their impulse over. Pretty nasty. Just while we're on it there, I'm just going to, hang on a sec. Yeah, just while we're on things, I know I spoke earlier and then Martin confirmed that this was my line, you know, and I said up here, around here. Just tracing the line so that the least amount of gaps that you've got within that line. That is then your line. So I just traced that out, and I didn't really explain it very well. But you're looking for the line with the least amount of gaps, right? So just while we're on it here, right? Tracing up here, right? No gaps, nothing here. There's not a gap here, and you've got to consider towns as well. So obviously that if that was free of an allied zone of control as an allied town, so you've got to consider that. Right, so then we get to here, so the next part of the line goes from here to here. So now we have a 2 hex gap. So you count that up, so that's 2. We've got a 2 hex gap. Then come into here, I'll pan the camera a wee bit. So then here, no more gaps, no more gaps, no more gaps. Doesn't need to go in here because there's still not a gap here, so I think that just carries on to there. And then right up here, and there's no more gaps. So that count is 2. We've got a gap within that line, a count of 2. So let's have another look, because I wondered about this once these units had moved. So I thought, well, this is a good time to have a look at it. Once these units had moved up to here, could this be the gap? Because the gap would go from here to here, and then it would pick up this line of units, which is pretty solid. So let's just check. Let's have a look. Let's see how many hexes there are. So we've got down here to the bottom. You've got to go south of the board. So here, this is a gap, right? So that's a 1 hex gap. Now you don't count that because it's an allied town, and you can't count that because it's zone of control. So we've got 1 so far, and then you come up to here. So then between here and your next allied unit is going to be here, and this is where it's clear that there's more gaps. So this isn't a gap, but this is. So we've had 1, so that's 2, 3, 4, and then there's not a gap there. So that's us up to 4 now. So we can stop and we can clearly say that the other line has only got 2. But it was just to show you, once it gets to there, it's got 4 hex of a gap, and then it can trace, and there's no more gaps there. So this line has got 4, this line has only got 2, and that's what you go on. That's it. And if there's tiebreakers, right, you know what, while I'm on it, I might as well just get these tiebreakers. Okay, just looking at this again, it might be slightly different than I've been saying because, right, well, this was John's reply as well, I think. When there is more, well, hang on, right, here's John's reply, just to, not that I'm not saying you weren't right, Martin. You were on the hotline term anyway. If there is more than one way to trace an allied line free of gap hexes, only the westernmost line counts. When there is more than one way to trace an allied line with gap hexes, prefer the line that. Right, so here we go. So what I'm saying is kind of like they're slightly the wrong way around. The first priority is it has no single gaps of 4 or more hexes, and then in parenthesis it says that is has no gaps that can't be filled by placement of a single allied unit. If no such line or more than one exists, then you look at has the fewest overall number of gap hexes, and then if there's more than one of them, you form the westernmost line. So if, for instance, this had 2 gap hexes and that had 2 gap hexes, you would still go with that one because it's more westernmost than this. Oh, sorry. So, yeah, I kind of thought initially the priority was you looked at the number of hexes, but that's saying has no single gap of 4 or more hexes. Yeah, I think I see what's been said there. If you did have a gap of 4 or more hexes, then an allied unit placed there wouldn't be able to close that gap. That's why it's saying you would prioritise that. So, but the other thing is, although I counted actually, hold on. Because this part here is 1, 2. No, it's only 3. That's it. Yeah. I'm sorry to think there. So I suppose if this had been 4 or more hexes here, it's only 1, 2, 3. Like I say, because we've got zone of control there. So there's only a 3 hex gap. But if that had been 4, then this would take priority over that, even though there's less of a gap. Okay. I'm getting all muddled up there, right? So it does make sense. Sorry. You're all probably saying, Grant, scratching your head. When there is more than one way to trace an allied line with gap hexes, prefer the line that has no single gap of 4 or more hexes. Yeah, and if no such line or more than one exists, then has the fewest overall number of gap hexes, and then if more than one, westernmost. Okay, that all makes sense. Yeah, so what I was going over here was total nonsense. If there was a gap of 4 hexes here, you wouldn't prefer that as your line. You would look elsewhere, and you would only come back here if the other line had the same. If it had 4 or more hexes and you were all the same, then you would look elsewhere, and then you would look at the maximum, the least number of gap hexes, and then you would look at westernmost. Okay, I think I've got it. It might take a wee while for this to all sink in, but I was hoping to try and give you some idea of how it works, but I'm still trying to grasp it as well. But it does look like it's going to be so much better to do. Yeah, you're still going to have to check, because once allied units start moving about, you're still going to have to recheck things. But it's probably more than likely things are going to change. And it's going to be so much easier, yeah, definitely. Okay, where were we? That was allies done. So, German impulse next. Okay, I'm not sure if I'll carry on right away or not, so might cut this one here. So we'll see. Okay, guys, cheers. Hi all. Okay, back German Impulse, and before we take any more chances, we're going to fix this bridge. Yeah. So, it's alright. Yeah, so the two conditions are German supply is traceable to either hex, is it? At least one hex board in the hex site, and the other hex is got an allied unit or an allied zone of control. So that's not the case. So we're going to fix this bridge. And remember now, we've had confirmation that when we repair a broken bridge, it becomes ours. Jolly good. So there we are. So now we have yeah. Now we should have a good solid line of supply, hopefully, till the allies go and spoil it for us. Okay, that's 3 points unfortunately, so that's passing back over to the allies again. Oh, I can take that off. So yeah, let's get another allied impulse. Might as well just bash on. What do we get? Oh, another 5 core division card for 2nd and 99th. I don't think there's any of them. Oh, he looks down carefully to the event and sees Tank Battalion, which I can't remember, but can't be good. Let me just have a check. Yeah, so both the 2nd and the 99th have been and gone. They're all eliminated, so there's nothing to deploy. Oh, sorry, we wouldn't be deploying anyway, would we? It's allied game. Okay, so yeah, we can't activate them. So unfortunately, we go right down to the event, which is Tank Battalion. So Tank Battalion says remove step from one German infantry unit alone in a hex, without an IP, nor in a town and adjacent to but not across a river, from a supplied full strength allied unit. Your choice of more than one. Well, I've got a lot of one-step units, so... Well, no, that's not relevant, is it? It's remove a step from one German infantry unit, sorry. But, yeah, okay. I'm going to have a look about and see what I can see. Okay, I think there's only one candidate. I did wonder about this. It does say infantry unit. This is mechanised infantry. And I'm sure I brought up a question before about the fact is that class is an infantry unit, and I don't think it is. I mean, it's just got the infantry symbol on it, so I don't know. Not sure if that would be categorised in this situation or not. Anyway, it's my choice if there's more than one, isn't it? Yeah, and there was another... Sorry, hang on. Send out a background. There was another situation here. This is an infantry unit, but this isn't supplied. This allied unit isn't supplied, so that was part of the condition. It had to be supplied. But then I did find this infantry unit here, adjacent to this. It's on its own, it's not in a town. There was another one up there, but it was in a town, so that didn't count. Alone in a hex without an IP, not in a town, adjacent to but not across the river, from one supplied full strength allied unit. So yeah, he has full strength as well. So yeah, I think that's the only option, that one. But that mechanised infantry unit, I suppose, I would maybe need to look deeper into that. If he was the only option, I would probably need to look into that one. My thinking is no, it's not classed as just infantry. And I wouldn't want to lose that one if I could, because he's elite and he would be eliminated. So, and at least this unit is just well, it's going to flip, become bracketed. It's not great, but yeah, no, that's the town there, isn't it? But it's not really relevant, this area. Well, don't think so. Okay, so that's the Allied Impulse over. They've done the event on that card. So back over to us. Oh, actually staying over in this area, because the last two cards we've got are these. So if you remember back, I was talking about possibility, rather than give the Allies an extra impulse, using both of these. And what we'd have to do, I suppose there is two possible attacks. Well, this one's just got worse here, really. In fact, no, this is the one I was talking about, I think. I'm pretty sure it was, because that was 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, it was. 2, 3, 4. Well, it's still 6. It's still 2-1, but we've just lost the chip pool though. So it'll be 2-1 and 1, 2. It'd only be 2 chip pools, but the idea was to play the infantry infiltration, and make it 3. Well, at the time 4 chip pools, but that would only be 3. So it's going to be 2-1 odds with only 3 chip pools against this armoured unit that's got an IP. So, there is the other option of trying to attack, but this is 2 units in here. They're both reduced, but there's 4 strength, and some of this would be coming across the river. I wouldn't get 1, 2. Yeah, I could get that and that hex across the river, so it'd be 2 points coming across the river and 3, so it'd be 5-4. That's the best I could get with that. I could use fixed artillery, so it'd be 1-1 odds with 1, 2, 3, 4 chip pools. So not brilliant either. And then I started thinking, well, could I just split these into 2 impulses and assign a replacement point to each one of these core? But that gives the Allies one extra impulse if I do that. What would a good player do? I think actually I've just realised this guy is going to be unable to trace supply, I think. Yeah. So he's going to go out of supply if I don't do something about him now. So I could play this, activate them, and I could move him out of zone of control and then in again and attack here. And then he's got a supply trace. And actually we're going to get this surrounded too. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay, let's do that while we're here. Okay, so we're going to activate them. Of course, there was another option. There's a unit in the reserve units box from them, but I'm going to get him as a freebie next turn, because he should have been out on the 21st, or could have been out on the 21st. So moving on to the 23rd, so we'll get a freebie on him. So it seems silly to try to deploy him, but seeing this isn't as bad as I maybe thought. So we activate the 85 core. Yeah, 85 core. So move this unit 2 out of zone control. So 1, 2, and then 3 into here. And now he's got a supply trace. So that's good. this guy moves into the forest here, yeah. And this armoured mechanised unit can go 1, 2, and then 3, 4, 5 into the woods, yeah. So then we've got that guy surrounded too. I mean, I think he was probably unable to trace supply anyway, but yeah. So the only other unit is this one, but it's in the VP hex. It's going to be able to trace supply now because we took this bridge, so it will be able to go and trace into here and around. So not so concerned about moving him. And he can't get involved in the battle because he can only get across to here. He can't go across the bridge and up, so yeah. So I think, yeah, I'll probably just leave this guy where he is. So okay, let's give this a go, why not? So we've got 4 points of strength coming across the river, so that gets cut in half to 2, and that's 3. So, yeah, I mean, it's only 5 to 4, so it's just 1 to 1 odds. He's in a woods hex. He's not going to get to draw a card, though, so that's good. And we're going to play fixed artillery. So we're within range. Now, we can't use it on that, but these guys are in the fight, so they can use the combat tactics, so we use fixed artillery. So let's say 1 to 1 odds, and then chip pools are 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it's just 4, isn't it? Just 4 chip pools, and yeah, I think that's it. Yeah. Okay, so no card draw for these guys. They're not in supply. So minimum chip pool of 2 steps, maximum 4. So let's get the 2. Okay, there's the 2 chits. They don't apply. This is 1.5 to 1, but we're not even that. We're only 5 to 4. We would need to have 6 to 4, wouldn't we? I think. Yeah, unfortunately, just missing out on that one. It's just a bit of a pity, really. We'd have took the hit. The back of it was less than 1 to 1, so we're not. We are just over 1 to 1, but we're just not 1.5 to 1. I might as well take the other chats. No point going into this and not doing it. Well, all I can say is you're having a laugh. We get a woods chit, and then this one was like, what, greater than or equal to 9 to 1. Less than 4 to 1, it's a hit to us. So we got D -1 and A1. So 1 hit to us, nothing to them. I mean, okay, the guy's going to be surrounded. We've enabled this guy to get supply, so maybe it wasn't terrible. Should we have just drawn the first 2 chits and stopped and avoided taking the hat? Well, yeah, it's hindsight again, isn't it? Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure if it matters or not. If I took the hit on this guy, he would become bracketed and this wouldn't be surrounded, so it makes more sense taking the hit on this guy. He's also in a forest. Yeah. Not sure it makes an awful lot of difference, but at least it means this guy's still surrounded. I don't think he can trace supply, but it's better being surrounded if we can have it that way. Okay, so well, at least we've done it that way as well. And the other thing is the allies are going to get, well, they're going to get 1. Yeah, because I've only got the air power card left. So they're now going to get an impulse here, and then my next impulse I've got to discard the air power card and they get another impulse. So they get 2. But if I had done it the other way about and maybe split this into 2, it would have been 3 more impulses for them. So okay, so back to the allies. Okay, the second last impulse of the day for the allies. Hopefully they're not going to spoil the party. Oh, that's 3 5-core cards I've drawn. Mind you, I was drawing all that nonsense there of our own, wasn't I? I was like wondering, where are these cards? And now they're coming up now. Oh well. Possibly this is all core card this time. Replacement. Yeah. Okay. Let's. Right. Well, there's nothing to deploy, but could there be out of contact? Let's just double check. Yeah. You know what? I had a quick look there. We had the same situation before. It's possible the 2 units in Verviers, one of them's out of contact. What, they got 4 steps? No, they need 5 steps, don't they? Anyway, there's no German units proximate that if they were out of contact they could go to, so let's pass on that. So assign 3 replacement points. There needs to be 2 damage units, doesn't there? That's right again. I think we've only got the 1. Sorry, I'll have a look at the bigger picture. This unit's reduced here, this 1st division unit, but that's full strength, and the 2 in Verviers, they're both full strength, so I'm pretty sure that's the only 5th corps units we've got. So the fact it's only 1, I don't think we're going to do that. Yeah, they need to have at least 2 units that are reduced, so they've only got 1. So we're moving on to try and activate them. And yeah, this unit, because he moved down, well, he was applicable for an IP there, wasn't he? So he's moved down to here, so yeah, he can take an IP, so we're going to activate them again, I believe. Yes, so let's draw 3 more cards. Let's see what we get. We have fill the gap, combined arms attack, and open supply line. Not sure there's going to be an awful lot happen here, but we'll have a look. Yeah, I've had a quick look. I don't see any filling of the gap. These guys are dispersed, so I did think this guy could actually move up round into here, but he's adjacent to an allied unit, so, and its whole value is only 3, so no filling of the gap. Combined arms attack. Strength units, that and other active units. That's unlikely, isn't it? What did I say? These were both 9, weren't they? With no adjustments from before. And it's got to be greater than 2 times. Nah, that's not happening either. Yeah, can't find anything there either. So, open supply line. Yeah, there's no issues with supply. All the units can trace supply. None of them are out of supply. Are unable to trace supply. So okay. So the only thing that's going to happen is this guy's going to get an IP, and that'll be that. So that wasn't too bad, I suppose. But because we've got this no command. This air power card in our hand. Our next impulse is just going to be to discard that, and I'm going to give them another impulse. So we'll just quickly do that. That's that impulse over. We then have this in our hand, so we discard this. We've now no cards in our hand. Oops, that's the wrong pile. But now no cards in our hand, the allies get 1 more impulse, so let's see what it is. Hey, 8 core, well that's them all appearing now, all the 8 core and the 5 core cards there. Just wait till the end, so don't know how many of these guys there is left. There's not an awful lot, is there? So there's not in the reserve units box. Maybe have to just have a quick look for out of contact. Yeah, so the bulk of the units are still down here. There's 3 of them here. 2 of the 101st. We've got this guy up here as well for the 101st. And then there's this one lone armoured unit. So none of them out of contact. Nope. So then we next want to try and activate them, and this can take an IP. So yeah, again we're going to activate them. Might not be a lot happens. Maybe we'll see. Let's get 3 cards. Okay, so we've got fill the gap, attack, and then move. So let's see if anything happens. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this came up before. I thought maybe this unit might be able to move either to here or possibly to here to fill the gap. But he's outside the selector number. It's 27 down to 1. He's 31. He's bracketed. So yeah, I don't think there's any other units filling the gap. Even the unit further up there, there's nothing doing there. So attack. Yeah, it's possible this actually. I was just looking for greater than strength, and this unit got reduced recently. He might have been the option to do a replacement point on, but we didn't. So okay, let's see, we're going 1 up. So yeah, it's this armour unit we're considering first. So it's just on its own. Has it got strength greater than proximate German unit stack? Well, this has got 4, so that's 3 to 4, so not that one, but that's 3 to 2. There's no other modifiers to this situational strength. So this guy is going to move to this and attack it. 1, 2, 3. Just wonder if he would try and go into that hex for some reason. I don't think he would anyway, but I don't think he can. So yeah, that's fine. So he's going to attack. So he's going to lose his IP. So that's a good thing for us, I suppose. So now we're looking at other proximate units in the same core reinforce. So now remember, because this guy was outside that's 1 to 19. That's not counted now, at least I don't believe. So he could still be considered as reinforcing this attack. But we'll need to look at this guy first. Now he might well come up. I mean, I would probably be thinking, well, hang on, we're opening up, stretching gaps here. But remember, this is, my God, this has been a huge development, shall we say? Okay, so he can't go from zone of control to zone of control though. So, but he can go 1, 2, 3, breaking out, coming back in. Yeah, I think that's okay. And this guy, like I said, they've got to preserve the line, protect VP hex. There's no VP hexes, and this isn't our wine. This is not your wine. So I think he's going to join me. I don't see. I'm pretty sure the 01 to 19 is only the qualified to check for the situation. We've got the situation, it qualifies. We're now doing the action. And the second part of the action is other proximate units in the same core reinforce. So yeah, So I think he's going to drop his IP as well. Oh, is that on the camera? Yeah. Yeah, just. And oh, actually, can I reach? Yeah, I can. 1, 2, 3. You can't get anywhere else. Yeah, he's got to come around, isn't he? So 1, 2, and then 3 in beside the. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's cool. Okay, so no other units can get involved in the attack, so so how many steps have we got? We've got 5 steps. So if greater than or equal to 5 steps, they're going to break off the A2. Yeah. And so they're getting artillery again. So let's work out the odds and see what we've got. So 3, 6, 8. So it's 8 to 2, so 41 odds. And chip pools are 1, 2. It doesn't get 1 for that because it's bracketed. 1 for a wheat is 3. 1 for the artillery is 4. But then he's still got to draw a combat tactic. And he draws artillery again, so we've got lucky there, haven't we? 18 to 29, yeah, artillery. So that doesn't. Well, I'll just discard that. It doesn't apply, but it still gives him the combat the chip pool. So he's got his artillery twice, so he just gets the extra chip pool for it. Yep, I think that's right. And this would now be our chance to play a combat tactic with no cards in our hands, so that'll be that. So minimum chip pool of just 1. Maximum of 5. 41 odds. We've got an infantry unit in the woods. Could this end horribly? It's been a bit. Yeah, lost 3 units today, haven't we? I think. Okay, let's get the minimum of 1. Well, it's not going to be a large attack. He's only got 5 chits. The backside of that was, and the priority was air power. He doesn't have air power this time. He has had it quite a lot recently, so that would have taken priority. It kind of makes this chit kind of horrible. You know, it used to be a great chit this for when you were attacking, because a large attack you would go to that, but the fact the air power comes in it quite a lot now. Anyway, okay, so he's going to draw individually now until, either one of the 3 conditions arise. Okay, so he's got a hit on us, but remember he needs to have 2 more than the number of steps that we've got. So he needs D3 before he's going to break off and kill us.